Good afternoon. Thanks to EDRLabs for arranging this and allowing us to talk about books all day. It's been really good. I represent a company called Beat Technology, and we create platforms for audiobooks and ebooks, mostly for the trade publishers. So we work with publishers and retailers. Can you bring me the water, please? And we enable them to go direct to consumers. So these publishers who use our solutions can start selling access to books, and the consumers can enjoy them from our apps. Our approach is a bit different in terms of all these new tools. We really want the books to be front and center of our services. So when we create a UX, it's all about the content. And we do experiment with AI stuff, but we haven't really pushed anything to market yet, mostly because people really enjoy the craft of a good book. And I think that the escape that a book can offer, especially in times like this, is the real value of it. So that's how we sort of think when we build these services. So one thing that I'll be showing today is a new product that we're pushing, which is about how publishers, retailers, authors can provision access to books in one unified app. So in the past, we came out of the subscription scene in the Nordics, very much audio focused. And then we've expanded this platform. So now we do still support subscription, we do support single sale, free access, and library access. Subscription can mean so many things, right? It can be unlimited access to books, it can be time-limited access to books, it can be one book per month, all kind of different flavors, and I think we now cover most of them. And we provide these white label apps, beautiful apps on iOS, Android, and web that will allow you to enjoy that content. So we pick up a lot of the, like there was a lot of talk about standards earlier today. We work with Lars in Calibrio on the reader itself. We obviously support EPUB and PDF and a lot of other standard formats. And then we allow this to enable ebooks, audiobooks, and podcasts to be offered in these different models. And so far, it has given us this footprint, mostly European, mostly publisher-backed services. And so far, we're into a few 100 million hours of streamed content. In the Nordics, audiobooks are more consumed now than physical books. So it's a very particular phenomenon there. And we're pushing that into other markets. We also made the LCP-powered application for gardeners. And yeah, we're sort of pushing the envelope with retailers and publishers to go direct with these digital sales solutions. But we also find a problem in the setup that we have, because we have, each one of these will have to have a separate team curating the content, first line of support, all kinds of mechanics around it. And for us, we have to set up a separate entity for assets for each of these. So what we now introduce is a new concept, or a new product rather, which is a reconfiguration of our current setup, where anyone can tell us who should have access to which book. Okay? So by telling us that, we will enable that in our unified application. There's a quick video here just showing you the circle going from purchasing some kind of content on a website. That could be a subscription, it could be a single sale, it could even be like you register for something and you get a free book, whatever sort of action you take to get access to this book. And then we're going to take you to the mobile app where that magically appears in the app. And as the user reads, listens to this content, we will have webhooks going back to the retailer, so you can make certain actions when the book has been read, listened to. You can, recommend the next read. So this is a video showing that journey where you're on the web page, you find a book that you want to get access to, and after purchasing it, it appears in the unified app. This last bit is one that retailers really have been missing out on, which is when you complete that book, you really want to get the person to the next book, right? So a lot of retailers are like funneling everything into one sale, whereas all the services that we worked with, they think about this longevity of the relationship. So think about Netflix. When you finish an episode, you're automatically brought to the next one. We want to make that connection with this service where retailers can not only sell one book and that's sort of the end of the funnel. We want to make sure there's a circle of more purchases and more acquisition of content. So comparing this to how a lot of retailers are currently doing it, customers are left with a bunch of files, especially in the audiobook space where we're coming from. I mean, there's a good solution to that here, but for the most part, consumers are left with a bunch of files and really know where to go with it. There's no way for retailers to sort of close that circle and get access to the data that is being created by consumers, right? And yeah, audiobook playback can be really cumbersome. DRM solutions, some of them can be really cumbersome. And we're trying to address that. So this automatically appearance of books after a purchase, we think that's really powerful. Connecting the consumer behavior with the retailer, that's going to be very powerful. And the components that we built this on creates such a slick experience. So this way of building it, and with a very elegant API, like you tell us who should be accessing what book, and we'll enable that in the app. We can either ingest that book at that point in the journey, or we can have a bulk ingestion ahead of that point in time. So if this is something that you want to hear more about, this is my contact information. We're also going to share our experiences with this application as we move it into the market. We're launching it in September with one of the leading Nordic retailers behind it. So that's going to be exciting to see how that goes. That's it from me. Thank you.
So thank you very much for our last speakers, and thank you to all the speakers for this day, which was full of very insightful sessions. I also want to congratulate the interpreters who managed to follow 7 hours of presentation, one after another. And finally, I will thank again our sponsors, which are making this possible. So EDRLab, Colibrio, Readium Foundation, the CFC, La Sofia, and also our digital sponsors, which were with us today. So thank you, all of them.